Hey everyone, Andrew back again and welcome to another video, and today I'm finally here with my Iron Maiden video. I've been promising this for a couple of weeks now. Finally had a bit of time to sit down and do this video, and I've finally gotten pretty much everything album wise that I wanted to showcase within this video. So this video is sort of going to consist of three parts in one. First of all, I'm wanting to give a quick history with me and the band. Then I'll move on to my album collection, which isn't anything too amazing, but album wise I pretty much have everything that I'm interested in. There's a few bits of merchandise and DVDs that I'm wanting to add into the collection, but that'll happen over time. But album wise I'm pretty happy with where things are at. Then at the end of the video I am going to be quickly ranking the 7 main studio albums from the 80s, which is my favourite era when it comes to Maiden. So yeah, sit back, relax, and hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Okay, so a bit of history with me and Maiden. I got into this band many years ago. It was probably the first heavy metal band that I really got into, and it was definitely the band that got me into the genre, and it's my favourite metal band of all time. I absolutely love everything about the band. Well, not so much their 90s and some of their more recent albums, but all the 80s stuff is just absolutely phenomenal. I don't really need to tell you guys that, but yeah, a few of my mates were into Maiden back in the day at school, and that's sort of where I first got my first taste of the band. Whenever I went over to their house a lot, they'd put some of the albums on and I'd listen to some of the songs. I wasn't overly familiar with the band right at that point in time, apart from a few songs here and there, and it was not till a couple of years later when I went into a record store and saw a giant Maiden display up near the counter that I really got hooked on this band. So you guys know how amazing the album covers are, right? Well, yeah, they were to me as well. When I walked into the store and saw that display, I was immediately drawn into the album covers, and yeah, was pretty much hooked instantly. So the first 2 albums I can remember picking up on CD were the debut album and Peace of Mind. Took them home, listened to both of them many times, and just absolutely fell in love with the band right then and there. And then over the course of time I would pick up a few CDs here and there. Then I kind of got out of CD collecting and picked up most of their albums digitally. And yeah, it all sort of came to a halt then when I kind of got out of music for a while. And then it's only been fairly recently where I've gotten back into wanting to build up a serious music collection. And not just digital wise, but I really wanted to get back into focusing on physical music collecting, and Iron Maiden was one of the bands that I definitely wanted to get back into collecting sooner rather than later and really focus a lot of my attention on, and that's certainly what I've been doing recently. And then of course I got into vinyl collecting pretty strongly recently, and yeah, the Iron Maiden 80s records were definitely high on my list. I have all of them now, and absolutely fell in love with the band all over again. I know it may sound weird, but listening to them on vinyl was a whole different experience to just throwing a CD in the CD player. There's nothing wrong with CDs, don't get me wrong, but just having the album covers, the large vinyl album covers to look at while the record's spinning was just fantastic. So yeah, that's pretty much how I got into Maiden and a little bit of history with me and the band. Now we will quickly move on to my album collection. So this is my Iron Maiden collection so far. Album wise, it's pretty complete. I'd like to pick up some DVDs of the band, and also I'd like to get some of the 7-inch singles, but album wise it is complete. So I have the 7 80s albums on vinyl. So we have the debut album, Killers, Number of the Beast, Peace of Mind, Power Slave, Somewhere in Time, and Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. And CDs, I have the debut album, Killers, Number of the Beast, Peace of Mind, Power Slave, Somewhere in Time, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, Brave New World, Book of Souls, Life After Death, Made in England 88, Somewhere Back in Time, and Best of the Beast. So yeah, that is my Iron Maiden collection on vinyl and CD. So along with all the albums, I have a Iron Maiden poster. This is the only piece of Iron Maiden merchandise, I guess you'd call it, that I actually own. I'd like to get a few more posters and some more merchandise in general. But so far this is the one and only poster I have. Pretty awesome poster with the classic Iron Maiden logo up the top and all the different images of Eddie from some of the different albums below that. Okay, and to wrap this video up, I am now going to quickly go through the rankings of the 780 studio albums. This is my main interest when it comes to Maiden. I'm not really a massive fan of anything after that, apart from Brave New World and Book of Souls. But my main interest lies in the 80s albums, so that is where I'll be doing my ranking. Please keep in mind this is my opinion, and I'm sure everyone out there is going to have different opinions on how they rank the 80s albums, but this was not the easiest ranking to do, because there's not really a bad album. Well, there's not a bad album from the 80s discography, but some albums I prefer over others, and yeah, at the end of the day, this is just how the rankings happen to fall. So sitting at number 7 goes to Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. Great album, there's nothing wrong with it, but it just happens to be the album that I listen to the least, so had to put that one at number 7. Number 6 goes to the debut album, and a lot of people are not big fans of this, but I personally think it's a great debut album for the band, and I've never really had an issue with Paul Di'Anno as a vocalist, so I like it. Very, 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 very raw and gritty. Number 5 is Number of the Beast. Absolutely amazing artwork. This was obviously the first time that Bruce Dickinson became the vocalist for this band, and it took me a while to get into this album. Just because it's very, very different to the first 2 albums, but it's fantastic, so that one sits at number 5. Number 4 goes to Killers, an exceptional album. If I'm in the mood for something really heavy, raw and gritty, this is definitely my go-to Maiden album. A lot of people seem to hate this album, I don't know why. I've always been a massive fan of it. Even very, very early on when I first got into Maiden, and this one has still remained one of my favourites. And I absolutely love the artwork, obviously. So yeah, Killers sits at number 4. Number 3 goes to Somewhere in Time. Another phenomenal cover, so many little hidden imageries throughout. Best way to describe this album is it's epic. Not a bad track on this album, very, very consistent, and just absolutely love it. So Somewhere in Time sits at number 3. Now the next 2 albums were very, very difficult to rank because they both pretty much sit on par with each other, at least for me, but it really did come down to favourite songs. So unfortunately, Power Slave had to sit at number 2, but on any given day, my second, like this, and my first choice, which you guys know what it is, could easily flip. This is an absolutely exceptional album, especially from a drum standpoint. Nico on drums within Power Slave, it's just relentless, it's non-stop. Just an absolutely exceptional album. So yeah, Power Slave sits at number 2. And of course, you guys know what it is by now. Number 1 goes to Peace of Mind. As I said, a very, very close toss-up between this and Power Slave, but it really came down to songs, and Power Slave has my 3 favourite Maiden songs on the one album, being Die With Your Boots On, Flight of Icarus, and The Trooper. The Trooper is my favourite Maiden song of all time. And not only is this my favourite Maiden album, but it's pretty much my favourite heavy metal album of all time. It's just absolutely phenomenal from start to finish. Very, very consistent, amazing vocals, great drumming, and exceptional guitar riffs. So yeah, Peace of Mind sits at number 1. Alrighty, so that pretty much does it for this video. Just a quick rundown of my history with the band, a quick look at my album collection, and then of course the ranking of the 7 studio albums from the 80s. I hope everyone's enjoyed this video, and if you guys are big Maiden fans and you have a little bit of a collection yourself, and if you feel like doing a video response, that would be great. I'm always up for checking out other Maiden collections out there. Or if you don't feel like making a video, just let me know what a couple of your all-time favourite Maiden albums are in the comment section below. So yeah, hopefully everyone out there has enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.